I believe that a lot of us, we create these plans, we create these goals, we create these vision boards. But if we're honest with ourselves, we're just going to spend this year distracting ourselves from the real issue, from the real question we need to ask. And that question is, who do I want to become? See, most of us, I believe that we don't know this, but we are keeping ourselves busy, but we are avoiding the reality of life. And this is going to sound harsh, but the reality of life is that we are all going to die. And see, most of us, and if you're like most people, you want more years in your life. But very rarely do any of us ever ask, how do I get more life in my years? So here's how you're going to win in 2024. The way that you're going to win in 2024 is not by creating a vision board. It's not by creating an outline schedule of every single hour of your day, but it's by asking yourself this question and actually being willing to confront the challenges that you have in your life. And see, here's the thing. We are all becoming somebody. Now, the thing is, are you becoming by design or are you becoming by default? But you are becoming someone. But the question is, who is deciding who you become? Is it social media? Is it your parent? Is it your spouse? Is it your boss? When you let other people decide who you're becoming, you are living your life by default. But instead, here's what the top 1% of winners know. It's not that I'm going to create my life or I'm going to live my life by default, but no, I'm going to live my life by design. Because the truth of it is, we're all going to die. I'm sorry to be that guy, but we're all going to die. And whether you have $30 in your bank account or $30 million in your bank account, we are all going to end up in that graveyard. Maybe, just maybe, your grave might be a little bit bigger than mine, but we are all gonna end up in the same place. But the question is, now, how do I add more years to my life? The real question is, how do I add more life to my years? And that starts with asking the question, who do I want to become? Because we're all becoming somebody. But are you becoming by design or are you becoming by default? Are you becoming because other people are placing certain narratives or certain ideas or certain requirements of you? Or are you becoming because you have sat down and you really decided, hey, this is the type of person I want to become? See, the issue that we make with New Year's resolutions is that every single year we make a New Year's resolution saying, this is all of the things I want to do. And I believe that is awesome. But here's the thing, what you do will always change. And here's the thing, if your identity is attached to what you do, then you will never have a stable identity. Your identity will always be rocking because what you do will always change. So don't define yourselves by what you do. Instead, define yourself by who you want to become. See, who you become doesn't change. Who you become evolves. In fact, I believe that this is the number one thing that we're all looking for in life. It's this thing called purpose. And purpose is like this artifact that we're all looking for, but for some reason, we can't seem to find. See, I remember when I was young and I would play hide and seek. When I would play hide and seek, we would play hide and seek. And when it was my turn to hide, I would go inside and people would look for me, but they can't seem to find me. And what happens is when they couldn't find me, eventually they would just give up. And I believe that that's what's happening to most of us today, is we're going around and we're looking for this thing called purpose. And when we can't seem to find it, we all just give up. But what if we realize that that very thing that we were looking for was inside all along? So if you want to make 2024 your year, if you want to win in 2024, if you want to achieve in 2024, start with the question, who do I want to become? Now, when you ask yourself, who do I want to become, meaning the type of person you want to become, then you have to ask yourself, what does this person do, right? First, you define who do you want to become. So let's say I want to become a generous person that spends time with their family, that loves his wife very well. So then you have to ask yourself, okay, what do these type of people do? So first you have to identify who you want to become, what that person does. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to actually go find some people that are like that. Because here's the reality for this year, that you are going to become the sum total of the five closest people that you're around. So the question is, if you want to change your life, that might require you to change your environment. So then, if you know, okay, this is the person I want to become, this is what this person does, then the next step for you is to go identify individuals in your life that are like that person. And then from there, the next thing that you're going to do is you are going to serve that person. You are going to find a way to serve that person. You're going to find a way to add value. That might start with a lunch, that might start with the coffee, but you are going to find a way to serve that person. And see, here's what happens when you serve people. When you serve people, you now become a person of value. You don't just become a person that's requiring a lot of time out of people. You don't become a person that's just asking or begging for people to do things. You become a person of value. And when you become a person of value, people or that type of person will want to spend time with you. So again, if you want to win in 2024, first decide, who do I want to be? Two, identify what does that person do? And three, get around that person and start serving them, right? Now, here's what all of that is going to require you to do. Every single one of those steps, it's going to require you to get outside of your comfort zone. And sometimes getting outside of your comfort zone means that you are going to have to confront some of the challenges that you face. Because a lot of the things that you don't want to do is due to insecurities that you have, because there are certain challenges in your life that you don't want to face. I know for me that if I'm going to step up this year, if I'm going to go to the next level this year, I'm going to stop focusing on who I think I'm not, and I'm going to start living from the person that I want to become. Then that means I'm going to have to get surrounded by people who are that type of person I want to become. And then I'm going to have to find ways to serve them. And none of this stuff, it's going to require you to go buy a productivity journal. It's not going to require you to, you know, plan out every single hour of your day. But what it does is it's going to require you to get intentional with who you spend your time and where you spend your time, because you're going to make the decision that I'm going to live my life by design, not by default. I'm not just going to try to escape death by becoming very busy this year, but in fact, I'm actually going to embrace life. And I'm not just going to try to find ways to add more years to my life. I'm going to try to find some ways to add more life to my years.